Call of Duty has been a gaming juggernaut for well over a decade at this point. It's still going strong with its Battle Royale Warzone, and each mainline entry is a commercial success despite the COD is dead narrative that's been repeated since the original Modern Warfare 2. I still enjoy Call of Duty, despite not caring for some of the more recent games like Black Ops Cold War or Vanguard. But now, Ubisoft has decided to create their own Call of Duty. The question is, how is it? Is it good, or is it another one of Ubisoft's attempt to have another cash cow? Hi, I'm Mason, and today on Amateur Game Review, I'm giving my first impressions on Ubisoft's open beta of XDefiant. This was not a game I planned to talk about. However, I seen the free beta advertisement on my Xbox's home screen and thought, why not? I like Call of Duty, I enjoy some Ubisoft games, and it's free. If I hate it, I can delete it, forget about it, and see a news article in 6 months about how the servers are getting shut down because nobody played it. That was oddly specific, wasn't it? Because this isn't the first time Ubisoft has tried to cash in on a trend and have it blow up in their face. Remember Hyperscape? Probably not. That was Ubisoft chasing the Battle Royale trend. Then they tried again with Ghost Recon Frontline, another Battle Royale, and that one didn't even get past the alpha test. I guess after 2 Battle Royales, Ubisoft thought a Call of Duty clone would be the next best thing. I don't know why they're going after the Call of Duty crowd all of a sudden. In my opinion, it's 10 years too late, especially when they've already had a successful multiplayer game with Siege, and it's still going strong. But I'm not one to judge a game until I play it for myself, so I figured I'd try out XDefiant's open beta and see how it plays out. Okay, first thing I see after loading up are the available classes I can choose, and I actually really like the idea Ubisoft had in mind. The looks of each class are based off of different Ubisoft franchises. Medics are based off the Libertads from Far Cry 6. Tanks and defense are the Ghosts from Ghost Recon. The Spy class is based off of my beloved Splinter Cell, cause Ubisoft will put them in everything but an actual Splinter Cell game. The Assault classes are based off of the agents from The Division, and finally we have a Hacker class based off of DedSec from Watch Dogs, but that class is currently locked. I actually really like this idea of basing the classes off of their different games. Ubisoft is no stranger to doing crossovers between their games, and it's probably one of the few cool things they do nowadays. Each class comes with 2 abilities to choose from, so that gives us 12 total abilities. But I love Splinter Cell, it's my childhood. I was going to choose that class as soon as I seen those iconic trifocals. It looks like you can create different loadouts as well, pretty standard stuff, but I'll stick with the pre-made loadouts for now. I like how the factions aren't limited to what weapons they can use. That's smart, it gives the player more customization. Alright, let's jump in and check out how XDefiant looks in-game. Okay, am I crazy, or do the graphics look almost exactly the same as the Black Ops series? Like, what the hell? This looks almost exactly like Black Ops. If someone showed me a screenshot and said this was an unreleased Black Ops 2 map, I would believe them 100%. With that said, XDefiant is clearly not a current-gen looking game. The graphics are comparable to early PlayStation 4 Call of Duties like Black Ops 3, but it's not just the graphical quality I'm talking about here. Stylistically, XDefiant just reminds me so much of Black Ops 2. It has that near-future look. Not far off into the future like Halo, for instance, but not as far off as a cyberpunk setting either. Tom Clancy games have always taken place in the near future, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's quite on brand, to be honest. But I guess it doesn't help that XDefiant is supposed to be Ubisoft's Call of Duty, so that comparison just quickly comes to my mind. Now this is a fun little detail I like to look out for in shooters. Can we see our feet? What are those? XDefiant won't be winning any awards for its graphics. That's obvious enough. However, other than Modern Warfare 2019 and its sequel, I don't think Call of Duty has been pushing its graphics for quite a while now. But that's not a bad thing. What matters is the gameplay. Call of Duty has always been smooth and responsive with its controls. The gunplay is top-notch and all around just feels great to play. These aspects will make or break a shooter for me, and in my opinion, Call of Duty will always be what I compare another shooter's controls and feel to. And those were the first things I checked out with XDefiant when I entered my first match. And they're great. The controls and movement feel the same as the Modern Warfare 2 to Black Ops 2 era, and in my opinion, that's the golden era of Call of Duty. Those earlier Call of Duty still feel great when it comes to the controls and movement, so that's not a diss at all. Also, the game lets you dolphin slide and have unlimited sprint, which is actually a nice change. I noticed you can't go prone. I think that and the unlimited sprint are really the only differences between XDefiant and the classic Call of Duty movement and controls. Moving on to the gunplay, XDefiant is great. I think the time to kill could be reduced by a hair, but wow, I'm really impressed with the weapons and just the general gameplay loop. It's giving me a weird feeling like I've played this before, but it's new. It's not reinventing the wheel, and it succeeds in bringing back that late 2000s 2000s, early 2010s era of Call of Duty, but I can't decide if that's a good thing or a mark against the game's future. I think it'll definitely bring in the crowd that wants to play Call of Duty but doesn't want to spend money on Call of Duty, or people like me who grew up with those games. Either way, I'm having a blast playing XDefiant. Something I realized, I don't think I ever came close to using my ability. I forgot the abilities were available because I never even seen a teammate or an enemy use them. Are they broken, or do they just take a very long while to build up? XDefiant has a couple of classic game modes as well. Most of them revolve around capturing zones, but it has one escort game mode as well. I mostly played the domination equivalent, but played them all to see if there's anything different between them, and not really. That's a small gripe, but I would like to see some unique game modes. A running theme throughout XDefiant is that all of it is based off of Ubisoft's games, so I think the devs could get really creative with the game modes. This also applies to the maps. There was one map I played that was heavily inspired by the Far Cry series, and it was a good map. The level's layout was nice, it flowed well, and the Far Cry theme made it memorable to me. I can't say the same for some of the other maps I played on. I think the map Liberty might be based off of The Division, but I'm not familiar with that game to be sure. The other two maps I played on were a basic movie studio, and the other was made up of a bunch of warehouses. I'm not saying those maps are badly designed, same as the Far Cry map, they're very well made. However, they just don't stand out or do anything new. I want to see more maps inspired by Ubisoft's games, or just some really unique locations. So how is XDefiant? It's fun. I enjoyed playing the open beta. The game's controls are good, the level design is great, it's a well-designed game when you put it in perspective that it wants to be Call of Duty. It gave me a sense of nostalgia. I felt like I was a kid again playing Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops. I actually threw on some Linkin Park and had a Mountain Dew just to ride that nostalgia wave. I know it sounds like I'm just being negative about XDefiant, but I mean it, it's not a bad game at all. The game nails that classic COD playstyle. The gunplay is great, the gameplay is great, the map designs are nice. My issue lies with how Ubisoft will go about this game in the future after its last couple of failures trying to chase gaming trends. I don't want to wish ill will towards anyone's hard work. I want XDefiant to succeed because Call of Duty does need a direct competitor, but I can also see the game ending up as another failure because it's already happened to Hyperscape and Ghost Recon Frontlines. It needs to draw in a crowd, not one just made up of people who don't want to spend money every year on Call of Duty, or those who miss the older CODs. It's going to be hard to do because XDefiant plays so very close to a classic Call of Duty. Another issue is, if Call of Duty comes to Game Pass day one, that will probably hurt XDefiant even more. But I want to be wrong. I want XDefiant to succeed. I really do. Thank you so much for watching. Have you tried out XDefiant? What did you think of the game? Leave a comment and let me know. Or if you like this video, subscribe for more. We're three friends who started this channel to talk about games, and we appreciate all the support we've gotten so far. We also have Twitter and Instagram if you want to check us out on there. Thanks again, everyone. I'll see you in the next video.